Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I have two goals. I want to explore a little bit the Italian game. I want to talk a little bit about how to attack. And to do both of those things, we're going to look at a game which a student of mine who is rated 1650 USCF played in the Scholastic Middle School Nationals about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So he was white, and the game started as the Italian game: e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, possibly preparing g4. Black played the best move by far, knight f6. The downside of c3 is we can no longer play knight c3, so knight f6 is a little uncomfortable. And the old main line is d4, and d4 was resurrected recently. Because after takes, if black knows what he's doing, white will just be down a pawn after this. Although black really needs to know what he's doing. And in a separate video, I'll show you how black should play that. So instead of taking back, white usually plays pawn e5. And now black needs to be very, very, very precise. But again, that's a story for a different time. The new main line, though, is just playing d3, which is what Sudeep plays. The point of d3, white will play d4 eventually to build the center. But first he'll castle, he might bring the knight to the king side, and eventually, when the time is right, he will play d4 without giving up a pawn, which, if he does it too quickly, that happens. Anyway, black can play this several ways, as you can see. d6 to allow this, a6 to give the bishop some breathing room, and castle are all fine. Black castles, Sudeep castles, which is absolutely fine. Black now plays d6 in order to bring out the bishop, or maybe here. And Sudeep plays a4. And black needs to be a little bit careful, because white actually has a threat with this move of b4 and then a5, trapping the bishop. So black can play a5 or a6. Those moves have slightly different intentions. In the game, black played a6, which is fine. Sudeep played rook e1. The point of rook e1 is a. At some point, we'll play d4, so we reinforce this pawn, because if we move this pawn, it doesn't defend his friend. And the second point, there is a common idea in the Italian and also the Spanish of playing here, 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 and then maybe here. And so by moving the rook, we are allowing for this to happen. Black plays bishop g4, which is not terrible, but the point is it's not amazing. Because we'll play this, and the bishop doesn't really want to take the knight, but it doesn't really want to do anything else. So it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. Sudeep simply continues with his plan, knight bg2. Pawn d5 by black. So black is confusing two different ideas here. So there are structures which black plays where the position remains closed, where bishop g4 happens, and then there is this world where he tries to open things up. But confusing the two is not great. And at first it looks like black is doing great, but as we will see shortly, it's not so wonderful. So Sudeep takes. The point is now we have access to this square for the knight, and we opened up this rook with the knight. Obviously we cannot take yet, because because we're pinned. So Deep plays knight e4 first, which is fine. He could also play h3 with the idea to try to drive the bishop away from this diagonal. Knight e4 is absolutely fine. Improves the knight, attacks the bishop. The bishop retreats to b6. And now Sudeep's point was he brings the knight to g3. And now he is going to play h3 next. And again, the point of knight g3 is we cover this square. Okay, black plays knight f6, which is not amazing. Sudeep continues with his plan. The problem for black is if he retreats, he simply loses a pawn. So he took on f3. Sudeep took with the queen. Obviously, we don't take with the pawn because our pawn structure is just terrible. And now we have two advantages. A, we have two bishops, which is a long-term advantage, and the board is open. Number two, this guy has no counterpart. Black light square bishop got traded, so he will have a lot of fun on the light squares. And see, we have ideas like this, maybe centralizing the rooks, playing z4. Bishops like open diagonals, so this would be really fun. Computer is already realizing that black is in trouble. If you notice, the moves he suggests is knight e8 and king h8, which no human would play. The point of knight e8 is maybe to prepare f5 and reposition the knight here. King h8 gets out of trouble over here. But black played the human move. He played queen z6, improving the queen, the idea of bringing the rook, getting out of possible pins on this diagonal. Now there are a number of good moves. Computer loves knight f5, it's a very strong move, hits the queen, points in this square, black is in big trouble. So they played a different move, bishop g5, ideas of taking and opening up the black king. Black didn't like that, so he moved the knight. But now, again, knight f5 is incredibly strong. Sudeep plays bishop d5, which is also really good. Idea is simple, we want to take and ruin the pawns. If black moves, this is a free pawn. So black was hoping he could get some sort of counterplay. He attacks the bishop. But Sudeep throws in knight f5. And all of a sudden we realize that this queen does not have that many squares. If he goes here, that's a fork by the knight. So that loses the queen. So that leaves this square, which is where the queen went. But now the problem is bishop e3. And there is one more square, and then the queen gets trapped on this square. And now this is actually funny because we could, of course, win the queen. But Sudeep realized that we don't even need the queen. We have a very strong attack on the king. So queen g4, threatening checkmate, threatening to take. Black plays g5. G6 doesn't work because of this pin. So we'll just take. So g6 take. So g5 is the best move. The problem with g5, well, we can just do this. We can take this pawn with check and take this. So Sudeep just chooses to take here straight away. Of course, black cannot take because he gets mated on the next move. So he moves the king. But now Sudeep plays queen h5. This is double attacked and there is no escape. So black resigned. Very quick game in the Italian game, which looks like a very solid opening. But if black is not careful, white can get a very quick attack. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And I'll be back soon. Thank you.